AR object, you will see that it's persistently there. It's shared, and if you do any activations on that asset, everyone who is localized at that place will be able to experience the activations you are making there. So scanning, and then we'll talk about asset creation, asset placement, and how asset viewing is possible. Then we'll go on some experiences, user experiences, and use cases that our partners have been working on over the last 2 years. So thank you very much again for being here. And Susan, here is.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, I didn't introduce myself. You can see I am Ali Hantal, founder of XR Masters. That is developing a spatial content management platform for ARCloud. And we are compliant with open ARCloud standards and protocols. And I'm also a co-founder of On-Site Viewer. It's an Oslo-based European company, again, working on ARCloud systems. And we are targeting photorealistic on-site experiences there using NVIDIA Cloud XR's ray tracing. And we are really excited about that as well, because that is really photorealism on-site and requires remote rendering as well. And finally, Open ARCloud Global Testbed Coordinator. And that is where I actually am very excited at talking to universities, students, any educators, and anyone who would like to really help Open ARCloud to get this great initiative live, the way that it should be, with mass collaboration and bringing all collective intelligence together. So that's who I am. Thanks for the reminder, Susan. And here you go. Oops.
Hi, everybody. I'm Susan Oslin. How's everybody doing today? Last time I was here, it was 16 degrees in 2019. So it's much warmer this year. I'm the experience director for UXXR design, and I'm also the program manager for spatial experiences at Open ARCloud. I've been with Open ARCloud since I'm a founding member. So I've been with them since the beginning and working with Ali now for a couple of years. So we're excited to present this material today and hope that you enjoy whatever level you decide to play, or just here because you're interested in the technology. We hope you have fun. Slide. So we have over 300 individual members, and we have over 55 partner organizations, technology partners. Not all of those partners and members are necessarily active, but they're interested in our mission and staying in touch with what we're working on. So our mission is to drive the development of open and interoperable spatial computing technology, data, and standards to connect the physical and digital worlds for the benefit of all. So our philosophy is really about, there's a concern with the spatial computing metaverse, real world metaverse, however you want to refer to it, ARCloud, being walled gardens that don't talk to each other. And there's a lot of that kind of conversation going on around metaverse right now, and people, worried, oh, if metaverse owns, if Meta owns everything, what would that mean to our safety and whatnot? So our mission is really to provide a platform that allows any provider, you can go to the next slide, that allows any provider to sort of talk to each other. So these purple spheres are the services that we offer. And we have Geo Pose, service discovery service, and content discovery service. I did a last minute scale, that's why the line's dropping down. And so the concept is that any VPS provider can connect to our APIs, and they don't necessarily have to rewrite their code to any particular standard. They can just use our APIs so a lot of service providers like that are proprietary, like Magic Leap or Niantic, can sometimes be a little skittish of standards organizations because they don't want to, they have proprietary ways that they do things. And so they don't want to always use a standard. And so what we provide is a reference API so that they can stay proprietary, but still work on a unified system so that everyone can access it. And then similar with the content providers. So if you, for instance, were to build an experience on Zappar or 8th Wall or Niantic or whatever, the concept is that if that company uses our API and can send their content to the content discovery service, then the idea is that as you walk around in the world, when the whole world is scanned, this is obviously into the future, that you would be able to access content from any of these different platforms. And then the same idea with the service discovery is that you would be able to use the VPS service from any provider. So I'll talk about what VPS is in a minute. Like for instance, the VPS visual positioning system provider that we're using right now is Augmented City, because they're compliant with our standards and they're using our API. Other companies like Immersal, or I know that Niantic is in the process of bringing out a VPS system. So if they were to, again, connect to our service discovery system, then you would be able to use whosever VPS system you wanted. So it's really about giving the user choice and allowing all the companies to still do things the way they want, but just providing a bridge to tie it all together. So VPS is visual positioning system. If you haven't heard of that, the concept at a very high level is you go out and scan the world. Right now we're using a phone and just take a bunch of pictures. That gets sent to a service, which is the VPS provider. We're using Augmented City. They have the artificial intelligence that creates a point cloud out of that. Then that point cloud lives on their server. And then the next time you go to that location, or anybody that has that application, when they open up their phone and start the AR, the phone will recognize where it's at because it's looking for, it's looking to make a match between what it sees now and the scan that's on the database. So when it makes that match, it knows where it is, it knows where your phone is. And so therefore it can like figure out,
Sorry.
it's okay. It can triangulate between your phone and points, known points in the point cloud. And that's how it positions things. So, which brings us to Geo Pose. So Geo Pose, you can go to the next slide, thank you. So Geo Pose is basically a coordinate system, just like you have in Maya or Unity or any other 3D software, but the origin is at the center of the Earth. And it allows us to very accurately place objects in the real world in position X, Y, and Z, and then a rotation, right? So it's 6-off, which is very different from GPS, which has no orientation and it has also no elevation, height, and it's much more accurate than GPS. So I think the next, you're it.
And thank you, Susan.
You're welcome.
There's also one thing going on with the Geo Pose is we have been working with OGC and ARCloud teams together from the work group. And for 2 years, a standard has been developed for Geo Pose. So, and it's right now at public review, and the OGC board has approved it. So soon after the public review, hopefully it'll be ratified by before summer, hopefully. So that means what Susan showed you in the previous slide actually is becoming a standard. And after that, the point is if we can get actually people, users understand that, and hopefully then all the platform owners would use that. What would that mean is when you go and place an AR object in front of your home, which says arrow, that's my home, and you do that on one of the real world metaverses, one of the AR-based metaverses, that is that content will get a Geo Pose within that realm. And when you need to do that for another within another realm, so go to another real world metaverse, and you need to do the same thing. If there's a standard there, then it will be translated easily by your permission to the second realm. So company A, you put that there. This is my home, an arrow, AR arrow. But if you want to do it on another realm, you actually have to do the exact same job. You have to upload your stuff up and then go and locate it there. But if there's these two providers, two metaverses, two real world ARCloud based versus are standardized in Geo Pose, then you would only need to upload your content, and the Geo Pose information would be translated from one to another. So there, we're not talking about, at least at that point, at that concept level, we're not talking about multiverses, at least at that Geo Pose of your content is now is a level up. So it's not, it can be standardized throughout. And if you can do it, if all platforms are supporting the standard, then this would really give us the chance to have an interoperable internet-like system instead of having an app store-like system where everything is walled garden. And that's why with ARCloud, we are always looking for members such as yourselves, and we would like this to be open. We would like to democratize the standards, protocols, ways first start, but if we can democratize, we would like to democratize the whole system. We also work on other stuff that is a little bit in progress right now. It's still futuristic, but we are working on an open source browser, an application, client-side application where anyone can build their own applications for iPhone and Android. And that would make it possible for anyone to actually be Geo Pose compliant. Hopefully I'll be saying OGC compliant soon, but it's definitely OARC, Open ARCloud compliant. And the second part is we are also working for an open VPS. That means anyone will be able to utilize a VPS if they really work with us and if they take that open source and implement it to their systems. So the goal here is to make it open and interoperable as internet. Hopefully that's what we are trying to do. What I will invite, actually time, Susan just reminded me that the time is, we started late. So do you have questions here? This part is very important. I'm also looking at Zoom, and if we don't have time, this is very important for us to have questions. Yes, sir.
I don't know if this is too specific, but what is the granularity of like the localization? So if like I don't know, submit say like the surrounding to your API, we'll be able to tell the difference between like if I was sitting in this seat or like a couple seats over.
Yeah,
Actually,
well, go ahead.
I'm going to go over scanning process. It is not like one point. There are two ways of scanning. One of them is linear, which is a lot faster and quicker, but doesn't get a great point cloud of the digital twin point cloud of the space. The second one is a circular one, and you will need to actually, even for this room, you will need at least 20, 25, 30 different points where you just scan with a circular motion. So that's why when you sit there or anywhere, the system can understand where exactly the device is and where your device's Geo Pose is. So with 10 centimeter to 20 centimeter accuracy right now.
So yeah, but But the thing is, like, point clouds are usually you usually don't think about point clouds of people because people move. So I don't know if you were just saying that as, you know, a reference point for distance, you know, between here and there. So yeah, because like if you would want to do a point cloud of this room when all the people weren't in it, yeah, it would work better than and trying to have people in it. Yeah.
Will we ever be able to relocalize WebEx anchors?
That is not our domain of expertise.
It's just gonna work on like the web basically. Is it
The goal, yeah, the goal is that this would be, in fact, we had a web application working, but it's still in development. So, but that was using the Augmented City localization, right? So in theory, what you're saying is yes, right? When we get the web-based application working, that can talk to through the service discovery service. If it talks to any VPS, right? So yeah, you could have it. It's not anchors, though. So does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Are y'all in collaboration or competition with something like Superworlds?
I don't know what Superworlds is, but we wouldn't be in competition. It's not the way we think about it. So we would want to be in collaboration with Superworlds, but that's like a metaverse thing.
Yeah, it's like a world overlay where you buy space and it's all blockchain based, and you buy space over it, and then you have an API that connects to that space. And probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, if it's a closed system, what we would love them to do is, if it's their AR, I don't know about them either, but if it's real world based, it looks like, we would love them to utilize standards so that anyone in their realm, a user can, whatever they built there, that's theirs, right? The users. And they have, if there's blockchain, then, you know, they're talking about the ownership as well. So the asset should be owned by the user, and the user should be able to take it anywhere they want in any realm. So that would be great if they can support standards. But we don't feel anyone competing, because we're not here to own anything. We're here to provide the open source so that the world can utilize it. That's how we.
It brings up an interesting point, because so their premise is you own that real estate in AR, right? Yeah. So that's their whole premise. So if I place an object here and this is mine, and I claim this as, thank you. You know, I claim this is my area and I own this. Now nobody else can put anything else there.
Yeah, it fits into everything that you're talking about with walled gardens and that sort of thing, because you can go and buy MIT, but not be connected to MIT at all. But then you can like rent out space on that. So it's very interesting.
So philosophically, we would not be aligned with that vision. Yeah. But I wouldn't say that we're in competition with it. Yeah, because again, if the idea is that there's many different people that could put an object here, and it just depends on which service you're choosing to use, right? So you as a user can choose which services that you want to connect to, right? And so different services and different content providers may have content here, and you know, there's no reason philosophically why you couldn't have an infinite number of things happening here in augmented reality. And so that's more the way we think about it. Yeah.
I have one question.
Sure.
Second. I saw you for the Geo Pose, the height was being calculated with the coordinate system. And I know GPS height is notoriously hard to get an accurate reading on. Is that being calculated through GPS or the VPS system that you guys are talking about?
VPS. Yeah.
And so that requires you to map out, like that requires there to be some snapshot up in the cloud so you can find your location.
Yeah, the idea is that through the point clouds, so the goal, it's kind of like, the goal is to have a point cloud of the world, just like Google has maps of the whole world, right? That's the goal that, you know, I think everybody's moving towards. So once that exists, your device knows about the world around it, right? That's the and Christine will talk about this in the video that we show.
Actually, I think
yeah.
we're gonna skip that.
Yeah. So Christine talks about that in the video.
But actually, what I can tell you about how we do it is there's a point cloud, and every point when you take a photo and send it to the cloud when you're scanning. Essentially, scanning is taking pictures while you're turning around. And let's go to that quickly so that you can see a video of Susan actually. And so this is one point in scanning, and when you're doing this is taking the frame and sending it to the cloud and saving it with the accurate space and assigns it to the right point cloud point. And when we have a full point cloud, then the user goes, and to start the AR experience, you just look at a building, and we prefer buildings other than nature for apparent reasons that nature can change. Right, and then you say start their experience, and there what happens is that point frame is taken and sent to the cloud, and the cloud now matches it with the right photo taken previously and gives you the Geo Pose of the device. So that once you have the Geo Pose of the device, we already have the Geo Pose of the content. So now you can accurately see the content where they are supposed to be at. And the same way, this would be very important when there's autonomous cars, autonomous robots, and drones. They need to have a VPS type of a system to understand where they're at exactly on Earth. You know, so
that's the goal of Geo Pose and the VPS, right? Is that devices, whether it's a robot or whatever, knows about the world around it. And
yeah, so. Any other questions? Yes.
I guess just to clarify, so you want you want a browser, like it's your API, and then your API layer is doing the computer vision.
No.
Not
so
doing computer vision. So
no.
It's just taking the it's computing, it's taking the image and forwarding it to the visual provider,
VPS provider, yes.
And then the provider will give back
the
position,
Geo Pose of your device.
And then the Geo Pose then is just consumed by the browser. So that if everyone, all the VPS like returns to Geo Pose, then like you can just have one browser that like lists implements your API. So
right. Right. So the idea is that a spatial browser, you could select which providers you want to connect with.
Like you're selecting your long distance provider, right, for phone, and once that's done, right, then now you have also your content repository with their own Geo Poses. So now you will use the VPS to get their Geo Pose and to visualize in front of you where they are.
The whole video is simply just an API that provides that talks by you.
And the service discovery and the content discovery.
Yeah, there are three major columns that we are working on, and one of them is Geo Pose. The other one is understanding the reality around you, and the other one is the content discovery services, which Geo Pose is one of them. Geo Pose is essentially a content spatial discovery service. Please, I'm repeating. So one of them is Geo Pose, which is a spatial discovery service on its own, right? But we just separated as very important to start the devices Geo Pose. But then the spatial discovery service could be content discovery services. Reality layers are going to be there. So that's why understanding reality around you, understanding the world, and getting reality content layer is going to be also very important for so many reasons. But we can discuss about all of this. We'll be here all day and all week. And our booth, we are going to be at our booth. But wonderful questions. Now we are limited in time, so I am going to, and this is important, so that's why we wanted to take questions more than presentations, because if you're really interested about having this, experiencing this technology, we will be there showing you from scanning to uploading and to visualizing what you have uploaded and placed. So please come and see us. But
one thing I want to make clear. So yes, our technology are just the APIs, but we have technology providers that Augmented City and XR Masters that can deliver a full experience. Okay.
So this is our the workflow. So you have your idea, then for your idea, you have decided that you would like to place that idea in space. There's a space, then you go create the point cloud, as I will explain in a moment, and then content management and will come. You should create your content and then place it. And once the content is placed, then the user experience could be spatial browsers, could be different interactive experiences that we're going to show you a video of. And it could be a mobile phone or a wearable or a mixed reality headset, or it could be app-based and hopefully web-based soon. We are working on that, as Susan said. So currently, to have a full experience, what we do is, like, if you would like to create content, if you would like to create point clouds, you would need Augmented City Scanner application. And for that, please come by our booth, and we will need to get you and send you an App Store test flight for Apple. We'll need your Apple user ID and then an APK file. So it's not on App Store. It's free, but it's not on App Store. So that will be the scanning experience. If you would like to learn about that, we'll do. And the second part is where you do content uploading. That's with XR Masters content, spatial content management platform, which works with Augmented City and on Open Spatial Computing Platform compliant. That's upload.xrmasters.com. Once your assets are uploaded in the content repository, then you would need XR Masters app, which is free to download on Google Play and App Store. And once you do download, you will need to register and tell us that you would like to become an editor so that you can do authoring, you can do placement. So again, we are at the booth and we can talk about all of this. Scanning, I would like to show you, it's a lot easier to do actually than to explain, to be honest. But this was done in Seattle by one of our other partners, Novaby. They have done Novaby, XR Masters, and Augmented City. We worked together for this very good AR placemaking project at the AIDS Memorial Parkway, which is remembering 5,000 AIDS, the people who died of AIDS back then. And there's a great memorial parkway there for it. But what we have done there, just talk about scanning now, is here's where we scanned. This is a good area to scan because it is all surrounded by buildings, very AI, for AI to understand the environment and differentiate between one another. And what we do is we actually first, this is how many times we had to do the circular scanning. No, my team did that, as I said, not we, but this is all these circles that you see, and some of them are, you see that there are 3 or 4 of them on top of each other there, because if you really zoom in, you'll see it can take to like 10 to 15 hours if you're doing one person. And if you're depending on your trials, and normally one point takes about 2 minutes. And what happens is first you will need to calibrate. That's always linear. Then once you calibrate, then you will start doing your points. And those points has to be with a maximum number. So when you reach 2000, you need to stop and start another passage, or you can call it another pass. And once you are done with all the passages, all the passes, then you upload it to the system, and you have a good, hopefully you will, after processing, you will see if you have a good point cloud of the digital twin point cloud of the system or not. the important part is you should not be scanning when there's glass or water or lots of different, like if you're looking at a forest, looking at a park area, instead there are ways to do 180 degrees. So you turn your back at the glass and you do not really scan the glass. So this is a little bit of an experience, as I told you, and doing it is easier. And once you do a few scans, you'll learn quite easily. But basically, it shows you how many photographs you're taking at every scan, the app, and you need to be at a certain distance. So you shouldn't be closer than 3 meters to the wall or a building. And you do that, then you see these very good, actually, here measurements here that you can use. Basically, you should not be going over maximum 2000, and you see as soon as you upload, you see the success level. If it is less than 75, that's not going to be good, so you will need to scan again. As I said, this is time consuming to learn, but if you want to learn more, please stop by us. At the end, this is what you get, and then we need to check if it is geo-aligned properly, and then if it is geo-aligned, then the localization happens with great success.
And then we're going to be doing some scans of the campus so that you don't, if you wanted to do asset placement or just kind of see how assets look, you could use one of our scans.
So now we have 10 minutes left. I think we could show some user experience videos, right? And then, yeah, if you have any questions about, let me go over. So we content upload, custom content creation and custom content upload. If you have questions, we can talk about that. Then content placement. Let me show you.
We have some PDFs online that we can put the links to in this slide deck, and we can make the slide deck available so that you can get more detailed information. And then again, we'll be around. So
yeah, just for you to see how a content creation occurs is you go to the repository and you find the object that you named. So in this case, it's test. And then once you have to be localized to be able to do this, of course, your device has to be localized, but then you place it. Once you place it, there are those 4 icons there. You can do either resize, or you can change its height, or if you can rotate it. Or yeah, you can change its location. And once done, you just place it, and that's it. So if you would like to experience this, you can do it without anything. Just come by after we scan today. We can give us some time. We scan today, you'll be able to place and visualize your content. So user experience, we have done several projects. As I told you, let me start with the AIDS Memorial Pathway. This was really very good because the cause of it was remembering the people that was lost due to AIDS. And there's a tree here that everybody sees. And when you localize, everybody sees it at the same place. And at every 5 seconds, there's one leaf falls off and then becomes light and goes up. And then you hear a name, which was lost due to AIDS, which lost his or her life. So this was like at the opening of this park, hundreds of people came there, and they were like looking to hear the name of the person they know that died, and that was really emotional, and it was a good ARCloud experience to just remember people that have been lost to AIDS. And the next phase actually is to just write a name so that you don't have to wait for those 5,000 people in the database, so that it's going to be actually launched this summer. And that will be, you will write your name, the name of the person. If it's in the database, the sequence of the names are going to change. So quickly going over this New Year's, we actually worked with the mayor's office in Ankara And in Taksim Square, it's a major square in Istanbul, we actually created a gift hunt. And that gift hunt had sponsors, so people who played. Yeah, so as you can see there, this is starting from a hotel because the gift hunt had quests. But before talking about quests, let me show you how a localization really happens. The person, because we have the digital twin, just looks at the building and starts the experience. As soon as the experience starts and localization happens, you see that more than 70 AR objects download at the same place. And everybody sees everything at the same place. And they were supposed to share one photo. And then you said there are two quests. One of them was to open 10 gift boxes like she's doing right now and find those first and then open them. And then activate 10 firework boxes. And everything that they do was shared synchronously with other members. And see, there was no snow that day, but it was snowing and it was a very rich environment. And it's a shared, see, when he activated that, the next phone also experienced the activation. So this was very fun. And the users, the players were so amazed with it because it was activity. Like, you know, the new world after Web 1.0, 2.0 to new world, Web 3.0, or the real world metaverse or metaverse, whatever you call it, spatial web or VR or AR based, is activity based. It's not like transaction based like it was in the old web. What we were doing in Web 1, we were only reading. Web 2.0, it's read and write. We were mass collaborating. We were collectively getting more intelligent. We're going to TripAdvisor to look at a hotel, right? Everybody knows we actually are utilizing that mass collaboration. Now it's time to utilize activity-based, experience-based systems. And that's why, even though there's no remote rendering, there's no 5G, and even though we're not doing photorealism there, no reflections, no shadows, nothing, people loved it because it wasn't your Xbox or PlayStation 2 environment where you were only you're really asking for great graphics. No, it was all cartoony, and but still the experience was really amazing because people were bonding together. They were outside exploring together, and they're not really outside of. They're not in a virtual world. They are in real world. So that was really exciting to see. And experience-wise, there have been other good experiences that I can show you. One more here. And that's how we can use this technology at an airport. You can see that this person localized. This is a POC. And just imagine that he or she entered the flight number, which is 2319, but the gate number 238. What you see is the gate number. So this app now is taking the person to gate 238, and see the management, airport management put a social distance. And then while he or she's walking, either specifically for the user or in a general spatial ad, there's an ad there, and that is just on the route to his or her gate. And what happens is you are now going to your gate 238. Another way of utilizing this technology. There's also a very good project done again by a partner of ours, Novaby, and with Augmented City. The old jazz club, which is not there anymore, actually has been just superimposed there, where at this area where now users can localize and get inside like an AR portal and walk around the jazz club. That was one other example. Then there was example of Augmented City. So if you would like to.
Yeah, I know a little bit about it.
Yeah.
So this is, I guess, where is this? I can't remember.
Sochi. Yeah, this was in Sochi.
And that's in
Russia.
Russia.
Is it?
Hello?
Is that Leaning Tower of Pisa? Or?
Yeah, that's the Pisa Tower, but it is.
Oh, those are augmented.
It's augmented,
yeah. So this is a previous, I just knew it was the site of a previous Olympics. So there's like this huge open space, and this is I was reading about this last night, now I don't remember.
That was just sent to us yesterday, but they did it in Sochi, and I just read while you were talking.
Yeah,
so yeah, this is the Olympic area, and they did the AR placements, different world exhibition there. So they put animals, buildings, and Tower of Pisa is there. That's why an Egyptian Sphinx and everything. That was another AR placemaking. But we have the PowerPoint presentation available, and all of these have videos. Again, I wanted to go back to you guys, and because we have only a few minutes left, we went a little bit speed up the process. We just went a little fast, but if you have any questions, we still have a few minutes. And I'm also turning to Zoom. If anybody raises hand, we will get a question from Zoom as well. And if there is anything that you would like to talk to us more about, there's one question, please come and see us at the booth.
So I have one question. So is it possible to identify the kind of material, for example, I mean, it could be glass or it could be, wood, whatever the content. Actually, when you take the image of the area, is there a way to find out what kind of material, I mean, the area contains in the picture?
Yeah, real world understanding technology is definitely available, and lots of companies have been working on that. And in this case, we are not providing that type of support here, but once you have the VPS system that does that, that actually is going to be a great partner to us. So, and we are always looking to partner up with those type of VPS providers, and strong in AI and environment recognition and real world understanding. Yeah, and those are all possible. And hopefully there will be a lot of VPS providers who are also providing that, and that we will have an open source, democratized future world.
But that's a different technology.
That's a different technology, yes.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the use cases, I mean, we are trying to figure out is, I mean, let's say, if you want to place certain Wi-Fi access points, in the house. So because the material will have an impact on, how the radio conditions, I mean, it's going to impact the service. So that would be one good use case where, I mean, if there is a VPS provider that can tell, I mean, what the kind of material based on looking at the picture and, give a spatial view.
That could be a separate provider that you can combine the solutions with,
Right,
that could be, it's not only VPS, but I mean, as VPS providers, they can provide APIs at that level. And then while you're getting the Geo Pose, then you can send it to another system and get that world understanding. And those are going to be, I believe is going to be all available very soon. So we are, I think, being asked to leave. Are we? Yes. So please add me on LinkedIn if you have more questions, or if you would like to talk more about ARCloud. You can see Ali C. Hantal. I'm on LinkedIn, and I would see the messages. So thank you very much, everyone. And thank you for Reality Hack, MIT Reality Hack, for this great opportunity to get us with you. Have a great day. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the presentation. I have a quick question.
Sure.
About the content management. Do you guys do any work on that? Because I'm a PhD student in design, and technology. And one of my projects is to how to help users.
Can I get can we meet here? Don't go anywhere. Yeah, I need to, because there's someone else coming after us. I don't want to get yelled at.
What's your name again?
Ali, Ali. Please, Ali C. Last name Hantal, Hantal. Ali C. Hantal.
Are you based in Turkey?
No, I live in Houston, but I have an office in Turkey.
Okay, okay.
I was just going to suggest one company, if you guys don't know about it, is ARCloud.
Yeah, we do know that. Yeah, actually, we used to, they were our members. We worked a lot with the owner, one of the owners are also from Istanbul. And they got purchased by a company, I forgot the names now. Oh, everybody, I didn't know we're still on. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for being with us.
Yeah, bye-bye.
I shouldn't leave.
But so they left the group or something?
No, I'm not a host. I'm not a host.